Hi, I'm the host of the STO Smokers Lounge. I'm here to tell you about Anchor, the perfect app that you can use right now to start your own podcast network. You can broadcast right now. All you got to do is download the app, whether you have a phone, iPad, or even a laptop or desktop. You can right now download Anchor or go to Anchor FM right now and start recording and have your stuff broadcasted over multiple platforms such as Spotify. So go to Anchor today and start your podcast career like I have, because trust me, I love me some Anchor.
This episode is brought to you by delicious Bear Snacks. Between cryotherapy, goat yoga, and smoothies made with things you can't even pronounce, wellness can feel a bit complicated. But there's a simpler way to wellness. Bear Snacks. They're a tasty, crunchy snack made simply of apples. With Bear Snacks, less is more. Buy Bear Snacks now at most grocery retailers nationwide.
Black Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right.
In the life, man, what's been going on with you, man?
Oh man, just easy out here in Vegas, and actually I've been doing a lot of editing my content, and trying to gear up for AVN, and maybe I might do something a little bit in between. Yeah, I've been I'm not gonna lie, I've been going pretty hard this year, and a little bit mostly last year.
Yeah, I can tell, because it's like a lot of people have your name in their mouth. In a very good way. In a very, very good way.
And I got no problem with nobody.
Yeah. But it's not just that you a nice dude or what have you. It's more on the professionalism side of things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we always talk about what makes a great male porn star. And you kind of epitomize that in many ways. You know, period. Dependability. It's not just professionalism. And more importantly, keeping it hard. You know, and it seems like every girl I talk to, any producer, Chris Cardio, I love him, man. He's so dependable. He's so professional. He's this, he's that, he's this. And I always tell young male talents, you want to have that kind of reputation. You know, speak to having that kind of reputation and how it actually has helped you prepare your career even more, especially in these past year.
So for me, a part of it is like a good bulk of it, shall I say, is integrity and character, right? If we're in this business again, and this is what we do as far as this is work. So when you come to work and you have coworkers, you know, you can't be non-professional in these fields. So say like you work for airlines, right? Or you work for an office firm. Even is down to construction workers, fast food. You cannot infringe or come out your character on the job, or else, you know, you're terminated. In an independent field like this, the termination is being canceled. All it takes really is one, or depending on what it is, a collection of lightning striking in the same place. That doesn't supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like being respectful, people got to keep in mind, a lot of these women, they're married. Some of them have other jobs. They're doing this. You know, the perception that people have is they dehumanize people. So they think people don't carry these type of professional things, as well as outside the job as well as how they carry their professional on the job. So I feel for me, it's a great benefit to always be professional and be respectful. And a lot of that respect comes from the cloth of me being cut because I came up with military parents.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always having the, what's the word? Chivalry
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
attitude. Yeah. And I
Chivalry,
mean
actually.
chivalry. Okay, so I mean that type of characteristic. Like I don't do it to be better than the next or anything like that. I
Mm-hmm.
do it as far as me to cover myself in the field in the sense of this. I appreciate anybody that I take a liking to or we take a liking to or mutual that gives me an opportunity to work with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do work with somebody, you're hoping to continue to do work with them sometime in the future. I get it. Some people it's a one time and maybe that's it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the way I look at it is you're building up a report, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in this field, there's a there's an unwritten resume, right, that each of us can carry, right? And that goes along with your reputation and how people feel about you. People's willingness to want to work with you based on what they have heard about you by their peers, people they're interested in, because they might not have never worked with you before, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a good report in, hey, he didn't try to do something outside of the business to try to, because hear a lot of people you hear things, and I don't out nobody because I don't snitch, but I'm from the streets, but I'll cover my ass. And it's crazy that even coming from the streets, even though I had military parents, I never brought the streets or any type of wrong characteristics into the business because,
Mm-hmm.
again, I have proper etiquette. I'm professional. I was
Yeah.
raised right, and those certain things don't mix. So I don't care to mix them or let anybody provoke me or trick me into jumping out of my character and ruining my reputation, my brand, or disappointing people who believe in me and spoke highly of me to others because that's just the way I'm going out. I don't really know any other way besides this because that's my character just in general. Even outside of this, I open up the door for people. I pay if we're shooting. You're hungry, you want to get something to eat, what we're doing, what's the nose, what's
Mm-hmm.
okay, what are you comfortable with, and let me walk you out. Let me see you turning the key and drive off so I know once we left the scene, you're going home to your people, whether you're a mother, you're going to your next job if that's what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing, your husband, whatever. It has to be respected and treated like any other field of business. I didn't come into this for to get my rocks off because I never had confidence in myself outside of this, Like I'm
Yeah.
not one of them. Yeah, I'm not a horny talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you,
it
you
takes
like me. You like me.
take
You
it away.
got the business because of the business and the money they can make, not necessarily the pussy we could get. And that's
Yeah,
where
like,
these guys get it twisted. Is
exactly.
that understand the reason why this girl is fucking you, not because you got your Mac game, is because their end goal is to sell scenes and to make money. They pick their male talents based off of their cachet, what they can bring on tape. I mean, let's be honest, some of the girls really do pick the dudes because they want to fuck them. But
Facts.
it's not just they want to fuck him. It's I want to fuck him and I know I can make money with him.
Right,
Period.
right. Now that goes.
And go ahead.
No, you're right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish.
No, go ahead. What you about to say?
I said that goes to the ethic of how business. So here's me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get no jealous. I don't get jealous of the next man. I look at motivation. Sometimes it's the strength in numbers. Every person individually has every sex worker who works with male talent has their reasons for. Okay, for example, there's other talent who I consider is more accomplished than I am in this field or more popular than or certain things, right? But I don't
Mm-hmm.
have any feeling towards that because I'm a man in my own lane and I do different type of things anyway. And I still get a lot of good work and I have my own reputation. And I can't worry about the next man or undermining him because 9 times out of 10, he ain't thinking about you. So why you got hate in your heart and you're jealous because you see somebody else flyer than you, doing it better than you,
Mm-hmm.
knocking down more than you, traveling here and there and there, and 8 or 9 of them might all want him and not none of the 9 women might want to work with you. You know what I mean? These things are the facts and how things go. But if you are filled with integrity, drive, motivation, and you worry about yourself because it's like you stay in your own lane, it's less traffic, right? You're gonna come
Yeah.
up. It might take a little longer, but I'll be damned if you don't come up. You know what I mean? It's just grinding
Yeah.
how you work yourself. You can't. I don't get caught up in the popularity and stuff. Women gonna choose who they work with and how they do business. And for example, you can have one be like, okay, you got to pay my rate. She'll shoot with this other dude, right? This content trade.
Yeah.
You in its own sense, depending on who you are in the business of the woman, it can look a little lopsided. But I don't even get mad at that. Why? Because the person
That's the way the
who
game is. That's how the game been. It's always been on the woman's side. It always favored the woman's side because the woman's always been the star.
exactly, and not only that, it could be okay for the business side of it, right? Like you're following,
Yeah.
right? Some look at that, right? Some don't care. This is all opinionated basis, but these are the facts that go on in the game, right? So for the ones that are following, and they're looking at their brand, right? So they're looking at you and like, okay, your following is only like this, or what they see of you in the sense of attractiveness is included, right? And then you might get hit with a certain number. This person might be not. Why? Because in that person's world, that brand might be able to push that content faster as far as sales, right? Especially if you're independent and not a company, right? So you got to kind of like roll with the punches, if not, or pay the rate. If you pay the rate, if that's your intention and want to absolutely book that person if they're willing to work, then you be able to get what you need out of it and stuff like that. And that becomes to the individual man on how they hustle, their money management, and just their overall game altogether and stuff. Because you can have dudes and stuff like that where, I mean, I've seen where people have bigger following than me, right? But outside of the people who perception of online and all that, I could be moving way better than them. Driving, doing this, doing that, and I could be making more money. But the perception of views, they got the numbers, and just depending on how the other person is with their management and their money, you know what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah.
it's
Because even to
mhm.
with views, well, guys, people understand is listening. More views do not necessarily mean more money. It might mean more eyes on the prize.
Right, right,
Period.
right. Emotion.
That because I think that's the biggest mistake that people make is that you can sit here and have 5, 6, 8 million views on your X videos, but you barely scraping $100 off of the X videos. You feel what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Right.
So it's kind of like the things that people might measure a talent by. Sometimes you can't measure their talent by. Period. But it takes someone that actually has a business mind state,
Mhm.
which a lot of people that get in this business don't have a business mind state, so they don't get that. Because sometimes it's more about growth than the numbers itself.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
You couldn't say it better because I've always been keeping my head down and looking like how far I came, even in the sense of the little time I've been here. But not only that, your first, I say, year and a half, all the way up to now, versus your 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 shoots, the way you shoot, how you've grown, your maturity, what you've learned and picked up, and then things become almost like a sense of muscle memory, where things is just like just a process that's just like moving now to where you don't really think about much. It's just you go and you go and you know what I mean? You just sit back and you look at the body of work you've done, some of the nice money you made for yourself, what you've done with that money, depending on what type of person you are, and then basically try to elevate yourself. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, hello, listeners. This is the Smokers Lounge. I'm your host, Carlos Upper Champ. You know what it is, allmylinks.com / porn rap star. Three sponsors, laswirl.com, ariseismmagazine.com, excitebunny.com. Probably in the GW District Black Podcasting Network. Go to shopgwdistrict.com. Buy products from over 500 Black-owned retailers and shops. Check me out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every morning at Fully Swap Radio, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Also check me out on SkyhawkAfterDark.com as well as the BGPLC app. We done went 12 minutes. I ain't even introduced the man. Let me introduce you to one of the hottest male talents in the game, the most apparently wanted male talents in the game. And I swear every time I hear this man's name, it's like I can just hear the women pussies just wet up like a motherfucker. I'm talking about the one and only Chris Cardio. Say hello to everybody.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing tonight, this evening, shall I say? Yeah.
No doubt. He is a legend in the business, period. And I had a conversation with a white male talent and stuff, because we were talking about with the male talents and stuff like that. And how some male talents get mad because other male talents is doing this and they're not necessarily doing that. And it's about patience. Because a lot of times, we as humans, we don't have patience.
Right.
And you got to let things play out. And you might see it might work out for you, period. So, because I also noticed it's been a big change in the male talent world anyway. You see more Black male talents popping than you see white male talents, period. Do you think is that because of the rise of interracial, or it's just more people want to see brothers?
Let me. Okay, I'll say this, right? I think it's a little bit of both. Whether it's one a little bit more than the other, it could be 60-40, or you know what I mean? I really think it could be a little bit of both. But I'm more like on one than the other, and I think the one that I'm more like than the other because of just the way I was raised and how I think it's more because of interracial.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of really, the more I kind of process it, a little mythical that they just want to see the brothers. There's a lot of good people, great male talent in the game from very many ethnicities, should I say?
Yeah.
Because of who you are. You can be a brother and be shit male talent. You could be a white boy and be shit male talent. You can be a white boy and be knocking these motherfuckers back like, God damn, you know what I mean? And some of them be knocking down the sisters too. And they'll represent for them because at the end of the day, regardless of your visual taste, what you like or dislike, people are good people. And if you see a repetition of somebody like a good white male talent working with different ethnicities, they're have it like that because they have good, strong performance, and a good 9 times out of 10, they're good people.
Yeah.
They come here to work. Some people don't care about getting all in your personal. It's they just come to do their work and go home. But I really truly think, again, to not get too far away from the question, I really think it's because of the IR, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I don't really travel much, right? I'm not here on the West. I kind of have the attitude sometimes of I don't really need to leave anywhere because everybody travels here anyway, and then I do a lot of other stuff. So it's like
I do not blame you because everybody do come to Vegas. I ain't gonna lie.
so I really like, man, are you coming up? Like, for example, they got the Exotica New Jersey coming up or something, right?
Yeah.
It sounds nice, but no. Why? Why do I need to go way the fuck out there to work? I'm in Las Vegas. The weather's better. No disrespect. I just, for me, okay, that traveling stuff, it just has to make sense for me in the sense of I'm doing something to help build the platform and around the people that we're all working with, not because it's like a fiesta. Those are nice too. I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying again, in the sense of me wanting to travel, it needs to be something that's worth it. I'm not coming out to just, oh, let me shoot with you, maybe shoot with you, maybe shoot with you, because they're treating it like a situation where people will just cancel. Now one could argue, oh, you can just have nothing going on and have shoots set up and someone cancel on you versus an event. Yeah, that's true. But
at least
when
I'm
you,
home.
yeah,
At least
I
I'm
don't
home.
ever, yeah, I don't never let anyone come out to want to work with me and they travel on a plane and I cancel. That's the scariest thing. So I don't like that. I don't really care for it. I'm like, I'm not finna do people wrong. So you come out here, I'm gonna work with you. I don't, I don't care. I'm gonna make sure I get it done because if I'm one of the part of the main reasons why you on a plane coming out to see me and work, especially if it's trade,
Yeah.
because people are here on their
Because
own. Yeah, but yeah, it's the interracial
that's part
stuff.
of the reason why I didn't travel for a long time because I had a cameraman here,
Hmm.
and it was people realize you travel because you kind of have no choice because you don't have everything to your disposal where you at. The only thing I didn't have was talent, was
Hmm.
female talent. Now I used to bring events female talent to come in, and I used to bring them in myself,
Right,
period. But
right,
for me, for me to even go like to New Jersey, and I ain't got my cameraman, now I'm taking my comfortability, my trust, and putting it into somebody else.
right.
And that's a lot for anyone that runs a business is to put your trust in somebody else that they're going to give me my content. They're going to give me my content on time. They're not going to
Hmm.
take fail, versus when you're home and you got your home base already, there's things that you ain't got to worry about that the average of a motherfucker ain't got to worry about. So it's kind of like, why do I need to go to Exotica, New Jersey when, hell, y'all going to be coming to Vegas in January any goddamn way for AVN? Or y'all gonna be coming to, because everyone come to Vegas anyway, for what I see. So period. Because even to the point like your blush scene, you did the blush when you worked with blush, that was in Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. That's Vegas. All those things I do with blush, that's all here. Every
Yeah,
last
because
one.
I was like, yeah, because I'm like, I tell anybody, like, if someone asks me why he travel, why should he? He's right there in Vegas in the earshot from LA. I mean, that's
Uh,
like yeah, that's like a motherfucker living in Atlanta, god dang it. That's a drug dealer. I'm making too much money in Atlanta. Why do I need to go anywhere else?
right. Real stuff, real stuff. And I mean, I'm not against traveling. Don't get me wrong. I just like it to make sense for me because I don't really do it much, and I have a lot of work, so I'm kind of spoiled here the way I
Mhm.
the way I like it. But yeah, that back to the point of all that, yeah, I believe it's the interracial and stuff like that. Everybody, it has a spill back on a lot of people in different ways. Like for me, so I'm out here out west. I don't travel as much. A lot of the people that look like me, so to speak, aren't really out here. So my
Mhm.
content, as far as say black on black ebony work,
Mhm.
I get jealous in a positive way of the other brothers because Um, if you're not booking or flying them out or coming here, a lot of the women don't travel here that much. Not as many as their willingness to go to, like the DMV area, New York or
Mhm.
Miami and stuff like that. You don't get the same type of quality talent, um, if you will, sex workers in coming out this way. Every now and then some do. It's not like nothing, but something beats nothing. But again, like even okay, say in the BBW world, right? A lot of even a lot of the work you have, right?
Right.
I don't see any of those women out this way. I like black BBWs; they're beautiful. I don't have enough of that content. I want more. So, what I've
Mhm.
been trying to do is take my time to map out a plan to where the different people, all races I want to work with that aren't out this way, trying to get them this way to help, get them out here and get some book some people. So the content that I like that I see that goes on in Baltimore or in New York or this and that, and I can get some more of that content too because I'm a people person. I like to work with different type of people. I'm like a buffet. So I have repeated people I work with and I continue to work with them, but I always look to branch out because it's a lot of dope people out east and Miami, Atlanta, and they're doing a lot of great content, and I love my own people too. So, and I want to work
Mhm.
with a lot more of my own people too, in the sense of, and just covering grounds to where I can pull in some more base of people who like to buy that type of content too. Now, my interracial content, that sells the most for me because that's what I have most of. And you have to be careful with not branching out or to your liking, because even in a brand, you'll get so caught up in one thing over milk that when you start to do other things, people aren't gravitating towards
Receptive
that.
to it, yeah. Yeah, because that
Yeah,
was the one thing I wanted to ask you. Do you find yourself sometimes being pigeonholed into the IR? Because even like, for example, with me, I got
mhm.
pigeonholed to BBW because it wasn't by design that I wanted to work with BBWs. Them were the ones that was willing to do content trade and travel. The
Yeah.
smaller
So
girls wanted to get. Go ahead.
yeah, what you're saying is it's spot on. It's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of both. And the reason I say that is when I look and I see my sales, they'll they're eating it up fast. I'm slowly gaining ground on slimmer women that are like my slim. You know what I mean? Because I'm a skinny dude.
Yeah.
I'm fit, but I'm a skinny dude. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that I think because I work well for myself, that all of it really sells. But I had to work a little harder to get it to that point because I felt like I got put in a box to where if it's not interracial, if it's not BBW, then you know what I mean. It's like, what is this? You know what I mean? And then the scenes
Yeah.
good. It don't be no like watered down stuff people don't want to buy, but eventually it moves. You know, more people see, and they'll get they'll look and see the gist of me, that he kind of has variety. He's not just stuck on just this, just that. No, why would I want? I need to put myself in the box. You're here to make money, right? Like I
Yeah.
have a standard. Like I'm not gonna work with anybody and everybody. No, I don't want to do that, but I do like to have that variety because I feel like people coming in and spending money, if you have more options, you're gonna make more money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I
Yeah.
work with
Because
W's, Latins, black, all that, whether it's skinny or fat. If you're beautiful, got good work ethic, and I think we can look the contrast and the visuals on screen can look good. Let's work.
yeah, because even to the point that I never get a girl was like, she saw my site and she was like, "Do I even fit what you want?" And I'm like, "Well, they want you. I wouldn't hit you up." You know,
Right.
it's kind of like understand, and I think females don't really take that into account. Is that we have to work with we have to work with what's given to us, while they have more of a choice. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? You know, because I tell females all the time, men get pussy when it's available. Y'all get dick when you want it.
When you
Same thing
want,
in porn. Yeah, same
yeah,
thing in porn. It's like we have to actually, we don't have but so much choice on who we can bring in and work with versus women. And I think a lot of times women don't get that, especially if they look at our our scene list and the girls that we work with. That I lived in North Carolina, so I can't get to New York all the time and work with the smaller girls that might want to work with me. Or a smaller girl might want to work with me, but the motherfucker live in California. She ain't about to come to North Carolina no time soon. So
right.
if I want to continue to build my business, I have to shoot with who's willing to work with me. Why do you think girls don't take that into account when it comes to male talent?
Right. Not all of them do. Now, some are super business minded. They see it. I get a good following
Yeah.
and where they're like, okay, yeah, they see like, okay, his it. I had a cousin tell me this one day. He's not in the industry, but he was kind of around when I got in and looks in and has his own Twitter and follows and stuff. He says this: some people lose sight of the fact that you are that person. Like they're getting the experience of you because you are a brand yourself. So these different variety of women are just them. But it's the experience of the fact that these variety of women are having that experience with you, to where your fans, it's almost like people don't understand the fact that these male talent, us as talents, we have fans too. Some people
Mm-hmm.
are buying that because they want to see this talent perform. I take it even deeper. whether they like you because they're bi, whether they like you because they're straight talent. It's the fact that they're seeing the performer and they like you as a performer, so they're supporting that artist. No different than people in music. Hey, such and such coming out with a new song. You got your next one coming out. I'm rushing to buy it. I can't wait to see what he's doing next. You know, versus you only work with, no, it's not that. That's the wrong visual. The visual is each person is their brand. So the more that
Yeah.
person has this variety or whatever content, those are the fans coming in. Yeah, they like to see these different people they're working with, but don't lose the visual of the fact that people love to support and buy because they love that person. They just get the
Yeah.
overall experience because that person is working with different people. Variety, whether you got two girls, one girl, it's an origin. You got this and that. They know this is coming from your brand, so they're supporting it and they want to see it because they can't wait for the next one to come out.
Yeah.
There's truth to it, you know?
Because
A lot of truth to it.
like I would tell people, I said, when it comes to the women fan base, they're coming to the site to see them. They don't give a fuck who they're fucking. When it
Right.
comes to us, they coming to see who we are fucking. You know what I'm
Back.
saying? But they're still coming to see us. That's the biggest thing that people miss. They still
Mhm.
coming to see that person because they're signing to your website, not hers. You know,
Right.
so they coming to see, okay, who Chris is fucking this week, who Chris knocking down this week. You know, period.
Right.
And that's part of bringing your fans in emotionally into your content. Because I think that's what people don't realize. If you make them like you emotionally, they're going to like you financially. You know, period. That
Right.
would keep them getting memberships. Go ahead and speak to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Because if they like what you're doing and you're a good person and you're reachable to your base, they can tell that they get a closeness to you by whether they're on your platform, say if you will, Twitter. You tweet your Instagrams, and they'll speak to you, and you respond. They're like, "Oh, such said something." Um, wow, and these people are speaking to you. Sometimes you don't know they don't bought a bunch of your stuff,
Yeah.
and you got to watch how you treat people, and it doesn't cost to be kind. I get people can be
Don't cost
frustrated.
nothing.
I get people can be frustrated at times. You might be having a bad day, but stay away from moving or don't make permanent decisions on temporary feelings, especially in this type of business, because again, we need your brand. Just to care just a little bit. I get it. People get on, especially the women. Guys always, whether they DM, whether they're, they get a lot of it, so it can become overwhelming. But again, it, being kind and the repetition of that building up, people kind of fight for you where you don't really got to say nothing because people get so involved in you, like you're saying, and they know your character for so long because they're following, they're real fans. They know the type of vibe you give off. So people will come to your. It's almost no different than they do in the industry of hip hop or anything else. People they battle amongst each other versus having the ability to be direct with that person. Because sometimes I believe you get to a point in your business, there's a time to not be reachable.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody shouldn't have access to you, but you got to know when people should have access to you. So it's like I feel you got to kind of play it smart and when to pull out certain cards and when to operate certain things. Like when you're on your platforms, you're feeling good. Yeah, speak every now and then. Take a few fans and leave a comment here and there or something like that. Even if you don't never respond to them and they not, because the male perspective versus the woman perspective. Again, I don't want to be naive, but it can be very different because you got a lot of guys that are stalkers or there's different things
Yeah.
where I have to be real because there's no women here on the platform right now to speak for themselves. And I love my mama, and I'm respectful. So I don't want to say nothing because there's no one here to represent and speak to contest or to let me know where I'm correct in it. Although I'm not stupid, I have good points, but something like that, I want to just make sure I'm in the right and being correct. But I know that because
Well, I know from my conversations with women,
yeah, they go through a
where
little bit.
they go through way like what we have to deal with. They deal with it worse because
Day, all the time. Harassment, stalking, they go, and it can get real serious. So I don't want to sit here
fast.
and speak as if what I'm saying is just rosy and easy like that. I get it. All I'm just trying to say in short is just, hey, you know, there are kind people out there, and everybody's not the same. You know,
Mm-hmm.
every is not all. And each person,
Oh
everybody's
yeah,
visual. And I just think at least for girls when they're really dope like that and they got it like that, it's good to have like people to be in place to do these things where you don't have to do it or entertain it, in
mm-hmm.
the business, in the
Of course.
business, because there's people running apps and pages that they don't know they're not talking to that person at all. They're paying people,
Yeah.
you know. It's just the way the game goes.
Hell yeah, because sometimes you be sitting there so many people having an argument with a bot and don't even realize it's a generated
Yeah,
bot computer.
you have an argument with a bot,
They're sitting there. Yeah.
or you can have. I tell new talents or just talents or people in general. They reaching out to try to work with some of the sex workers, some of these beautiful women, and they want to shoot. Sometimes you don't know with the ones there. Some of them are wives, right? You can be talking
Mm-hmm.
to the husband, not even know it. I think I spoke
Yeah.
about that before. Yeah, you can be talking to the
Yeah.
husband. So it's
I've
like
been there.
you gotta, as long as you carrying yourself, then in a correct manner, fashion, if you will, things will kind of work out more in your favor than not. You can still be a good person and shit not happen. It's just no budge. Some people it's just, hey, nah, I ain't working with you. I'm good, and that's just that. But I think when you carry yourself right, because you don't always are getting that sex worker when you're reaching out. If you don't really know that person and stuff, that's why they say,
And see,
say
too,
you're
also, I
out.
think a lot of male talents don't take into account it may not be your time to work with them. Like, for example, you might reach out to a girl last year that said no. You move
Right.
on about your business, your cash rate comes up. Next thing you know, she hits you up.
Right.
I had that happen to me in the past before. Period. That's why I tell guys be
Mhm.
mindful how you react to the no.
Oh
Cause a
yeah,
lot of guys react wrong to the no, and don't realize you just fucked up your career because you don't know who she knows and who she
exactly.
got contact with.
Yeah. I'll I'd like to speak to that. So I have someone I work with. I will never say this person's name. I love her to death. She's a good woman, very cool, and we were following each other on social media networks for a little bit, a good time. Well, a while ago, way long time ago, and out of nowhere, it was just like unfollowed and this and that. So I'm like, damn, somebody who I was building a report with. How does it go left like that with no verbal situation for it to go left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then next thing you know, some time later down the line, I see this person again and they follow me. Not only that, we end up working together. Now here's a person who, and I was like, now had the first time when I initially got unfollowed, I because I was curious, right? I know I ain't did nothing. I've been respectful, so I had to reach out and I said, hey, was there something? And it could be anything, but I always look at my business. So that's what encouraged me to reach
Mm-hmm.
out and ask, because it could be anything. It could be personal, boyfriend, whoever's people. She's not, I'm not privileged to be shared certain information, and I respect that. So I
Mm-hmm.
reached out and I asked anyway, and it was just no, nothing. I just, and I respect. I didn't. Oh well, no, 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 nothing. A lot of dudes that do that. I never will, because I'm respectful, and I'm like, I'm one of them. I take the love when it comes. It can
Yeah.
be right now, and I'm trying to reach out and work with this person, and I'm still in the game, and it could be a year and a half later, and they follow, and hey, Chris, you want to work? I'm not finna be bitter. If people have a choice too, I understand that, but I'm like, no, because why? I'm not gonna put any energy into why something didn't happen. I know I'm fly. I know I'm dope. I know I got it going on, bro. I love the city I'm in. I do many things. I'm cool. People love me. So I have no short of confidence. I'm just feeling like if that ever comes around, she gonna see it later, and it's better late than never. So I choose to not get but hurt. I take the feelings out of it and deal with it accordingly because it's a business. I don't. I'm. This is not the dating game. This ain't music. This ain't a speed dating, sitting in chairs, rotate. It's not none of that. And people kind of get that mixed up because the fact of we're sharing each other's bodies and they get wrapped up, and that's how the little bullshit can go on with the you shot with such and such, you ain't fucking with me, and on both ends of the spectrum. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that
Yeah,
falls back. You're like, okay, well,
even with me
maybe
with
not now.
podcasting, like even with me with podcasting, like we might have a situation where a girl don't hit me up or hit me back after I hit up. It don't even
Mhm.
phase me because I'm like, okay, not everybody. Even though yes, she might suck a dick and fuck, it don't mean that she likes talking on the mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Period. Or if
yeah,
it,
but it's not
or,
social.
or, or yeah, or if just so happen like one girl, she ended up doing an MIA or what have you. Most
Okay.
motherfuckers might get in her DM and cussed her out. I ain't even say nothing. I just let it be that she hit me up and told me, it was legit reason or what have you.
Mhm.
Guys, male talents must understand, don't burn the bridge unless you plan not crossing that motherfucker no more.
Ever.
Period.
Yeah.
And also girls also look at how you handle rejection with the next girl or with the girl
Yeah.
previous to them. Period. Just like they look at the track record of who you shot, they look at the track record of the motherfucker that said no to you, and
Right.
how you reacted to it, how you respond to it.
Right. Right.
Period.
Right. And not only that, I even know where there's women in the game who can have good names for themselves and good following, and they get so snobby and all about themselves because they think the world revolves around them that they'll try to treat a lot of the talents like shit, and they'll do it yelling on these platforms like a Twitter or something else. Right now, I've
Mm-hmm.
learned a few months back by, again, you get different experiences and learn knowledge and things as you go, right? Well, I can't say names of companies or people, but I've been around different people and male ran companies where I'm talking about big figure guys, and they're telling me like, yeah, Chris, there's times where I'll cancel the women, not that in the sense of canceling them in the industry, but to work for his brand and notable brands of his friends that put it to you like this. Say if it's NFL owners, right?
Yeah.
They're Kaepernick people, if you will. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we don't want to sign you. We don't want to deal with you. Why? You are shitting on some of these guys who own companies, male talents, like the personal guys that they love.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're seeing the women doing the guys wrong on these platforms, what happens is they say, you know what, fuck her. I don't care how bad she is, how good she look. We're not booking her. So you got to be
You know
careful.
what's funny? You know what's funny? I'm glad he said that. I'm glad he said that. I'm glad you said that because that brought up something that I talked to somebody on a previous episode. I can't remember which one. Probably done said it too many times on the episode. Ladies don't realize how much these motherfuckers pay attention to what you say on your Twitter, what you say to male talent, and even more importantly, a producer. Because it could be that, okay, because we know there's beef in the industry. It's
Right.
always been there, even especially amongst producers. Believe people don't believe it, but yeah, amongst producers, especially in the mid level. And I had a conversation with a lady a while back, and I told her, I said, I want you to think about this. I remember when my man from Plumber Pass was getting blitzed by chicks, blitzed, blitz. I mean, they were dragging him, right? But
Hmm.
guess what I noticed? A lot of those companies, even though some of them companies might have beef with him, may not like him or what have you, did not book any of those bras that had something to say about him. The
Mm,
reason why, because this is what they're thinking. They might have laughed at first, but then after they done hit they blunt, sat back and thought, well, she'll do that to that motherfucker. I wonder what she'll do to me if we go left. And that what
exactly.
makes it say, we don't want you. That's where the black ball comes.
Right, exactly. So they're putting out the red flags on just the male talents, it's balance, because I believe, you know, you need balance to apply on anything. So eh, that's just less talk, not as talked about, but it's slowly gaining steam, because you can't just jump on a talent. And you know, sometimes their ass need to be jumped on, depending on what it is. Let me be careful with how I'm speaking
Yeah.
now. Of course, I do get that. Like, you know, some people need it. Like, hey, hold on, because like, and where I advocate for it is because I'm a talent. Like, I don't want motherfuckers out here who are not genuine making it harder for me to get work. You know, like, and that happens. Sometimes I
Yeah.
don't get to work with someone because of something another one of these guys did, or you know what I mean. I'm like, damn, man, blow it up,
Mhm.
blow it for everybody. I'm no longer, you know. And I mean, whether it's content trade or booking, whether it's a paid trade or just exclusive,
Mhm.
they don't want none of it because people done spoiled it and ruined it. You know, so
Mhm.
yeah, there's reasons for their asses to get the hell up out of here. But I'm just saying,
Yeah, we do stay paying for the next man's sins. We
yeah,
always do, especially when it comes to newbies, because that's when they first come in. They get with the wrong producer who shits them, and then now they don't want to do any content trade. All they want to do is pay gigs, or they want a guy to pay a deposit. And half the time, the reason why them girls did it because their first time in the
hmm
industry trying to do content, they don't get their content. They get fucked over. Dude shitted on them. The producer fucked them off camera, and then because
oh yeah,
whatever reason, she don't get her content. Now she thinks every motherfucker that hits her up is that dude. You know, period. So yeah, we always stay paying for the next man's sins.
mm,
Always.
yeah, most definitely.
But that's in life, though. To be honest with you, we come to women. Shit, we pay for their previous boyfriend. How shitty he was.
Yeah, you definitely getting what the next motherfucker did. Sure, you getting all of every last bit of it, not one less
Hell
drop.
yeah.
Like the Golden Child, when Eddie Murphy had to travel across that thing and not let a drip of that motherfucking water spill out that glass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Classic ass movie right there.
Right.
I want the night,
Please,
please. That was my movie, goddamn.
yeah,
Brother Noopsy.
brother Noomsy, my dear sweet brother Noomsy. Boy, that motherfucker was hot, literally and figuratively.
Boy. They need to read that. That's what they need to remake right there. They need to remake that one right there.
Golden Child, hell yeah, I would love to see that shit. Oh
Oh my God, they need to remake the fuck out of that shit. But yeah,
yeah,
man.
um,
So so you talking about AVNs. I know that's coming, that's around the bend. I know we're a couple months out from it or what have you. So do you attend it every year when they have it in person?
yeah, I do. I try to, and this would be the first one again in a few years because we've been
Yeah.
stopped since COVID. We've had not had an AVN since I think it's got to be
Yeah.
at least 2 years.
2 to 3 years almost. Because
Got
I
to
think because right around when the COVID hit, it was what, March 2019. They
be.
canceled 2019. They did a virtual in 2020. And I think in 2021 they did a virtual. So this was going to be, yeah, this was going to be, so it's been almost 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah, so it's gonna be big this year. Well, should I say next
Well,
year?
that bitch going to be jumping. That
Oh,
bitch going to be
yeah,
jumping.
I'm gonna be in it to win it. I've already got people hitting me early out to try to get some work in. I mean, as early as like early January. So I'm gonna be trying to make sure I eat my Wheaties and get it
Yeah,
on.
because see, now I just did a show that I dropped, which was called the Male's Survival Guide to Exotica, where I talked about how a man should approach a convention if he's a male talent. And one of the things I talked about, which is interesting that you talked about, is pacing yourself to where you don't outshoot yourself. So when people understand why man outshoot yourself, that you done shot so much that and you're not giving the greatest performance. So with you, how do you pace yourself to how many scenes you do daily that you know you can do physically versus
Um,
you just being greedy? You get what I'm coming from?
okay, so a lot of times those come into play is usually when I'm working with blush, right? I'll do a lot of work. Like, I've had to just recently. I kind of found out where I was at. So I wish I had this my chart, but I was like rocking, and I'm doing like VR regular stuff, and the VR work is a lot more gruelier and very much like
Yes, I heard.
you can't talk, you can't say nothing, you can't breathe hard, you can't if it feels good, you can't react to it. You got to kind of like robot that whole shit and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And so now you're pacing,
Yeah,
breathing. You can't really breathe. It's deep and hard. So it's just like, and I love it, but it's taxing. It's taxing, and it's not
yeah.
everybody's not built for it. And so combining that with just the regular shoes, and then I start off, I had a bunch of threesomes. So I'm like, I'll do like one, two. After after like 10 or so, 9,
Yeah,
10, it gets a little crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. After 9,
And what
10,
that would be a week, ain't it, or a weekend?
um, both. Like,
Yeah,
are you saying
cause,
like,
cause I done done double digits in the weekend, like 12, 15, 3 to 4
uh,
a day. By that fourth one, god dang it. we maintenance. It's blowjob and doggy.
right.
It's
Yeah, but
blowjob and doggy.
it's like it's you have to get a lot of rest.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't if you're not rested up and your body feeling good and you're not drinking a lot of water, man, chances are you're gonna have a hard time.
Yes,
It depends
Lord.
depending on yourself. Like some people, you get it. Some people are good. Like there's a lot of very, very, very talented super professionals that get shit done, and this is why they get hired and they're where they're at, and over and over again with opportunities, and being overbooked or having to try to set people off and bend it off because everybody wants to work with you. So I get that, but just as the specifics and the basis, yeah, you really need to get your rest. You need to drink your water and because you're only human, you're not a robot. At some point, the more and more
Yeah.
you take, especially back to back, you'll feel it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's action on your body. And it's
Depending on the
very
girl you're working with too, goddamn, because some of these girls make you put in extra work, goddamn.
yeah, you put in extra work too. You know what I mean? And then you're knocking down like the like the group stuff.
Yeah.
Threesome. Like I'm doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like. I like it though. I love the challenge of having a big schedule, but then I have to learn again to pace myself too with it and it's cool the way I do it because I'll take a few and then I'll chill for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, I'm chilling. I haven't worked in at least 2 months, maybe, if that.
Damn, don't
Because
seem like
I've been.
it. That's how much your ass feel. He took a 2 month break from filming. It don't even seem like it. That's how much
Right,
he
right.
feel.
Don't even, you can't tell because I'll put out the content, and so a lot of time the misconception people think, oh, when you put this out, oh, he done shot again, he done shot again. Every now and then, I tell people this with me versus everybody else. Every now and then, depending on the scene, I'll edit it and put it out right then and there. A good chance, a good majority of them, I've already done. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just because I'm chilling, I'll put it out. Like sometimes I'll get ignorant, I'll put out like 3 in a week. You know what I mean? Or less, or sometimes I'll space it out a little more. Like you don't need to put just be. You know what I mean? Like you gotta depend on what it is and how it goes. But a good majority of the time, people think I'm way more active. What I really am. The thing is, I do be, but they'll be in spurts. So it ain't always just like here he's going, all he's doing, he never. No, it can have that appearance because I like to always. I don't want to get out the loop, So I always like, okay,
Yeah.
let me upload something, let people see me. Hey, I'm still here, motherfucker. Don't forget about me. And that's just become my my method. The problem with it is sometimes it can work against me because people see it and they think, oh, he's booked, he's too busy, he's always busy. Nah, motherfucker, I'm busy, maybe editing. It's a good chance I'm not working, and maybe we could put something together so I can have more stuff to edit. Because like right now, I have a stockpile of a lot of shit I need to get done. Some of the shit I can't edit because I need help with it as far as like their big, super big files. And some of these producers I work with, they don't give me no slack on the by not giving me these big ass files, and I got to put them through the a converter.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. My go to is any video converter. Whatever I had to
yeah,
convert something to make it smaller to work with it. That's my go
yeah.
to.
Right, exactly. I think I've seen that one too. And yeah, so
Yeah,
use
it's
it.
free. Get the free
Yeah,
version. Don't get the paid version. The free version.
free version. Right. So we going.
It's no watermark on the bitch. I just want to make everybody know the paid one gonna make you have the watermark. The free one you don't.
Right, right. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's pretty much it with that. Hmm.
Because because it's the point now. Even when it comes to shooting with women, because I always said this, you have a lot of men that sit there and tell women, if I'm not first, I had this conversation with a woman about if he's not first, he don't want to shoot. And it was like, well, why? I said, well, do you want to be the third woman down with a male talent? So what makes you think that you want to be the third man down and you just came from a threesome, a gangbang, and an anal
Yeah,
seat?
I do. Yeah, I do. They'll do a lot of that, man. I got to the point where I'm so used to it all, man. I don't. I've just been humbled because I didn't seen it all now. You know what I mean? Like you're working and
Yeah,
you're coming in and shooting. The motherfucker's just stepping right out the shower, getting ready for you. The other motherfucker just left out.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
ain't no space in between none of this shit. Like, what's the?
You ain't gonna give your pussy a rest, woman. Knowing your shit
Yeah.
swole right now. Your shit swole. I'm gonna have to work my way into your pussy.
Some of us brothers like to eat it. This motherfucker be pounding his nuts against you. I'm straight Mount County. What if I want to still do that for this particular scene, but you got me coming in right after this other motherfucker because the way you're working your schedule.
Yeah.
And then it'd be based on here in Vegas is how I deal with people because I know the city, so certain shit I'll tolerate versus I won't. I'm respectful, but sometimes when I'm on business, I don't give a fuck that you ain't been here. I don't my time if you want to come here for vacation, come here and vacation.
Yeah.
Don't if you want to come here and work, come here and work. Now, some people fly and they're good on their business. They know how to mix it up both, so that don't become a problem for those people, whoever they are in their business of being professional and know how to mix the two. But this be another big problem with ABN. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
goddamn, you schedule all the fuck you want. I don't give a damn. Some are gonna cancel on you on both sides. I'm not speaking that just for the women doing it
Yeah.
to the men, the other way around too. Why? Because
Oh yeah.
the plague on getting good business done and good work here when it comes to events and certain little things like that is people want to party. They've never been in Las Vegas
Mm-hmm.
before. We're a very new city. We're not an old city either. And we're one of the fastest growing cities, especially right now. So people will come here, they want to, oh, maybe I can mix up shooting. So they go party. Motherfuckers get drunk, they're having a good time. And I don't mean I'm not a hater. Like, yeah, you should enjoy it. Like I love that people come here and they want to. Problem is sometimes it'll get you canceled on. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that we're canceling. The person that come here to visit and they want to work and say this and that, and they'll cancel because they're too drunk or
Mm-hmm.
slept too late. Then they'll come in and hit you. Oh, I know we scheduled for this time. Can you, like if this was based off having to stick to your code and what you said, or it was like that, man, a lot of people would be out of work. So that happens a
Yeah,
lot
that's
too. So
right.
people have to be careful and mindful when they come here. If you never been here and you lining up a bunch of shoots with people. So a lot of us through the years that deal with each other, we've always said that, oh, what you doing for AV? Are you shooting? I'm only lining up certain amount of shoots, or there's a way that they're doing it because they know if you get into the entertaining when different people hitting you up, hey, I'm coming to Vegas for AV, I want to shoot, hey, and you're building your schedule based on that, and those are the same people who have those lists of other people that they're trying to shoot with too here. it'd be a shit show because a lot of the times all those shoots don't get. Now, I've seen something at times with some people on both sides of the women and men where they might have scheduled 8, only ended up with 3, 2. Might got
I'm one
11.
of them. I went to Exotica with 7, ended up with just 2.
Yes. Like, man, like I get it. Like it people have good reasons sometimes, but
Yeah.
sometimes, boy, that shit be
It be
bullshit. It just because
bullshit.
of there was no. I tell people I feel like this about this game is no different than the music, right? The independent inability to get your money on your own without a middleman is beautiful. I love to see everybody get their money, especially our people. I love it. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing more empowering than seeing my people eat. I don't down our black women or any women just in general, just us in the community,
Mm-hmm.
in the industry. Get your money, you know? But it's just like, you have to have the ability to keep your professional on. So if you're coming here and you're mixing your partying with, you're setting up working with people, and they get away with it too because like it's almost has this, it almost with people who do that, depending on who they are, the popularity, because they feel like people are always clamoring to want to work with them, so they don't take accountability for people who maybe not get as much work or the
Mm-hmm.
the level of talent pool, and people can use it to their advantage or be naive because they really don't see it because there's what they say, there's levels to this, man.
Yes, it's
But people in
levels.
the higher ups, they're
It
more,
sure
they
is.
have the tendency to, not all is every, and this don't mean everyone, just some few. They have the tendency to be very big headed and kind of mistreat people in the sense of bad business practices where a person set up, like it could be a girl that set up for you at 7 p.m. You have something you have to do 9:30 or something or whatever, depending on how much time you're, and they're either hella late, an hour late. Like this happens, you know what I mean? The responsibility of the independent hustler in the industry, as far as proper business etiquette on both sides of the track, is failing. You know what I mean? And I can't get into taking the easy route of good conversation by saying, oh, it's the OnlyFans people. It's the no, 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 no. It's a little bit of everybody. Platforms have nothing to do with individual. Individuals make the platform. So therefore, being an individual, you're carrying your characteristics that has to do with you as a person. So that means you're going to carry on those same characteristics outside of this business. It don't matter that this is porn. No, but no, that means in any business that you do, you're going to carry that type of characteristics. So I said that to say this. That's the reason why part of the bad part of the middleman being cut out. The beautiful part is you can get more of your money. Like the girls that got the fans and all that. I love it. Like it's a beautiful thing that they ain't got to cut their money with motherfucking companies. Get your motherfucking money, homegirl. Whoever homegirl is, you know what I mean? Get your money.
Yeah.
Versus, oh, you gotta meet the criteria of this company, whether it's whatever, to get on. Now, the flip side, the fucked up part to that shit is the fact that you got to sit up there and um have to deal with this whole wild wild west because it's like YouTube now that everybody can do whatever they want. It becomes like a shit fest of mixed with professional, unprofessional, and it's like you got to kind of weed your way through this crazy world to see what's good, what applies to you, and what doesn't because of these methods of you had to almost like in the hip hop world, you had to the A&Rs, these big labels, you had to actually be really talented to get on. So therefore, the pot and criteria that we had then in the music as far as talent pool was huge and full of substance because the labels were the gatekeepers of not only who can get in, but the talent too. The only beautiful part that I did like of the gatekeepers is they kept the talent pool kind of versus who's professional, who can do this versus the unprofessional. Even though you can participate in this, the level of doing this on a professional level is not at the forefront. So anybody's allowed to participate in this business and make money, which I have no problem with. It's just, again, the level of professionalism because of the independent grind versus the marketing and the business aspect of no different than hip hop and in the industry, more of the big labels, you know, but they take a piece of your money and all this and that. So it's like give or take. What do you substitute more you like better? The independent grind today and not and things not being in the sense of an order, you know, and is that order looked at like somebody being governed and therefore people don't want it. So it gets political to a sense, you know what I mean? It gets weird, you know. So I just like to have the independent business, but address myself and have the eyes of how it was in dealing with people. So I like to deal with people that I know the labels would deal with, so to speak, to an extent, even if it's at a independent level, right?
Yeah.
So if you have your company and there's women at work and oh man, I want to get with you so I can shoot with some of the women in your talent pool. The level of professionalism I'm going to deal with is going to be good because why? You do good business. You have this podcast. You've been in the game. You're an entrepreneur. You do things to say on and in the world of life, I can put my mind to something and I can be creative enough that I can make my own opportunities. And you've shown that over and over. So that's where I'd like to take my chances with. It's almost no different than the women when they don't want to take their chances on new talent. Not that they don't want to shoot with the guy. It's risky. You ain't been here before.
They don't want to take the risk. They don't want to take the risk because you never know what happens. But I have to cut this short because I got another show I gotta do, man.
Yeah.
Once again,
it was great. Hey, man, I gotta be back on again,
man. I got to bring you back, man. You know, you know, me and you can talk for 2 to 3 hours about this, bro.
Yeah, we can, man. Bring me back. Well, we gotta have us a few, man. But you know what I'm saying? I'm very grateful for the opportunity and the time again, brother. Thank you for having me on. I always look forward to your podcast. They're always full of life. They always have great subject matter. It's never boring. You're always striking up great goddamn conversation and great things that really actually make you think towards not only where the industry came from, where it's at now, and where it's going. So every time you have me on, brother, it's a blessing. I appreciate it. I'm more than grateful, and I can't wait to do it again.
No doubt. And with that being said, tell everybody we can spend money on you, man.
Man, you can spend money to reach me.
Yeah, spend money on you so where they can go to buy some of that Chris Cardio.
See me at chriscardio.com. You can come check me out on my mini vids. You can find me at Chris Cardio. You can follow me on my Twitter to reach through all that. If you have no other way at C Styles XXX. And again, come check me out. Come buy some content. I got a lot of videos and on one of my platforms, which is my mini vids. I have pushing on over 140 videos, and something is selling all the time. I have great fan base. People are always buying, and I appreciate all and every who come through and check it out and come buy something. And never disappoint.
Yeah. No doubt. And
yes, sir, man.
In this all day, every day, all the damn time. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience? You didn't learn anything. Smoke this over. Chris, say goodbye to the people and thank you for coming, man.
Man, bye, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in and listening in. Continue to support the podcast and listen in, even if I'm not the actual person being interviewed. This is a great podcast. I'm going to continue to listen in, and you should too, and check me out. And I can't wait to do it next time.
No doubt. Next time we're gonna put his face on the camera for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, and we're gonna take him to the premium smoke room. That's right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
So let me go. Yeah, so we're gonna do it, brother. You take it easy, man.
All right, you too, bro. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.